Hey, welcome back. It's Thursday morning, baby. We got a big weekend coming up. You're in the right place. The only place you need to be right now, you're in the Beat Down. I'm Brew. This is the Badger. I would say tell us what y'all want us to talk about, but you can't right now. But you can get at us on social media and tell us what we're not covering that you want us to cover. Right?
Yeah. All that sounds good, bro. Listen, I am enjoying the outdoor studio this morning, okay? This is like the perfect temperature, bro.
No, somebody turned on muggy.
You feel muggy?
Yeah.
You know why I don't feel muggy? Because I already got my cardio on this morning. Hey, man. Good morning, all my cheek clappers out there. Y'all know where y'all here. Yeah, we came to talk about combat sports, but hey, get your morning started, right? Get your endorphins pumping. Get that cheek clapping in. Mine was a little slow this morning. It's like that slow golf clap. Like, that's how I started my day.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah. So we got a big show. Probably not as big as the show he's already seen, but we got a big show.
Gotta love a full moon, bro. Gotta love a full moon.
We'll be right back. I hope that moon didn't have green cheese.
No.
Introduce you to the greatest combat sports show bar none. You are now in the Beatdown.
You wanna get beat down?
Let us now introduce you to your host, the Badger, and
Welcome to the outdoor studios in the urban experience. I like that background.
It's just true.
You're in the Fighter Share. What is the Beat Down? Brought to you by the Fighter Share.
Yep.
And, of course, the Fizzer Network. We got a big weekend of boxing. Ain't no need to delay. We got a big fight covered up. And it's got a big fight feel, bro. A BFF. Big fight feel.
Did you make that up? That was pretty good. If not, that was
Appreciate
good.
that.
Yeah. BFF. Anyway.
Because other people use BFFs for other stuff.
This is true.
This is a big fight feel.
So what fight are you talking? Oh, you talking about the two big dudes?
Yes.
Oh, that's why it's a big fight, because they're bigger guys.
You could get ready to say fat.
No,
that's
they're
not what I was. That's not.
They're
where I was
fantastic
going.
fighters. Okay,
Whatever.
but we talking about Latino on Latino violence. Am I correct?
Yes.
Mexico versus Cuba. Am I
Yes.
correct? Or, well, actually, America versus Cuba, right? Because he was born
In America.
Okay. Anyway, Andy Ruiz.
But of course, you know, just like people from Puerto Rico, you don't bring an American flag in. You bring a.
There you go.
Yeah.
Against King Kong.
Cole. I'm looking forward to this, man.
Luis Ortiz.
Yes. Yes.
So
yeah.
you studying both of these guys. We don't do predictions on the show. But what is this fight gonna look like, bro?
It's gonna look like skilled aggression. Because both of these guys are technically gifted. Luis Ortiz is probably the best technical boxer since Tipolo Stevenson.
Look at you.
So
History. Hello. That's what happens in our urban outdoor studio, man. People love the show. They just blow when they drive by.
and, you know, that'd be great. I like the fact that they're interactive.
Black people etiquette. Go ahead.
So
We recording the show and you gonna blow your horn.
Yes.
That's the only stuff black people do. But all right, go ahead.
they're gonna get like we're gonna turn the camera around.
Yeah, so we
they
can see
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, gotta love it.
I'm gonna get them one day though. Put a camera right out there.
That's all right.
Yes, I mean, if you remember, Muhammad Ali said the one person he's glad he never had to fight was Tipolo Stevenson, just because of his skill and his power, and it translated at an amateur level, and power doesn't always translate at an amateur level.
Well, yeah, because typically you're still very young.
Right.
Okay.
But Tipolo had to box for decades in the amateurs because he could not turn pro and live in Cuba. And Cuba. So he won I don't know how many Olympics. He was just phenomenal. And you look at Luis Ortiz and you look at his skill and the fact that he's a southpaw.
Right.
And the fact that he has power. He just, unfortunately, he went through too much in life before he got the opportunity to fight at this level.
Yeah, he aged.
Had he aged with a title,
Yeah,
I think it would have been a whole different landscape in the heavyweight game.
Listen, I like what you said, right? Skilled aggression, right? Two big guys know what the hell they're doing. They know their way around the ring. This is a good contrasting styles. Ortiz, natural counterpuncher off the back foot. Guess who's coming forward? Andy Ruiz. And guess what he doing? Throwing a lot of punches. And they coming fast.
But they're not. It's like organized chaos when he fights.
Yeah.
Because he knows how to come behind a jab. He knows how to slip.
Yes.
He knows how to throw it from
And
angles,
he's tough.
And he's tough.
And he's tough.
Yes.
So, bro, you right. Big fight field, it's not going to get the coverage that it deserves. But if you are a fan of combat sports, not just boxing, check this fight out. This is a good fight. This is going to be a good fight. And it's heavyweight, so somebody more than likely going to bed.
And somebody's going to get a shot at Usyk after this fight.
I mean, why you bringing that up? Don't nobody care, because don't nobody want to see that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
With
they do.
who?
If you're a real fight fan and you want to see a good heavyweight championship fight, one of these two deserves a shot at Usyk.
Sure. Deserving is one
Ruiz
thing.
did not get, and I know he was the champion only for and then lost it on his first defense. But if I'm that guy, my contract, so I'm gonna get that rubber match,
Okay.
which he never got, and then Joshua lost again. So
Yep, so you can scratch that.
listen, also on that card we have Eduardo Ramirez
Against
versus
Isak Cruz.
Isak Cruz.
Bro, that is one to watch. And
Yes.
here's why. Because Isak Cruz pretty much made his name off losing to Tank. Like, he got in there with Tank, and Tank couldn't put him away. He
Right.
beat him, but he couldn't put him away, and people were surprised by that. And Isak Cruz showed a lot of grit. He was tough. And this kid has made a name for himself. Now look at him. He's getting a fight against, excuse me, what, Ramirez, you said his name was?
Yeah, Eduardo Ramirez.
I don't know much about him, but listen, they're going to keep putting this kid in fights because he's going to sell tickets. He's an aggressive, come-forward, Mexican-style fighter. I'm happy, but this is what happens when you show up to fight,
But
even
again,
when you lose.
Put some respect on his name. It's actually Isak Cruz Gonzalez.
Well, there you go. Shout out to all the Gonzaleses out there, man, to my people.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, see, that's was unnecessary.
What,
That was, it's
a
true.
lot of Gonzalez.
It's true. It's a
That's
lot
like
of Gonzalez.
Smiths.
Yeah, Rodriguez.
So Robert, see, I went away from the Latino names and you went right back to them.
Yeah, because you're trying to be funny. But yeah, so that's going to be a good fight. Who else on the card, bro?
Your boy,
Abner Mares. Oh, man.
Miguel Flores.
So listen, bro, we talked about this a little bit.
We sure
probably
did.
about 2 or 3 when he first made the announcement he was coming back.
Right.
And we all liked Abner Mares
We
5
didn't like him
years
as
ago.
a commentator, but go ahead.
We liked Abner Mares 5 years ago because we thought Abner Mares against Javante Davis was going to be a fight we were going to get a chance to see.
Yes.
And then bro gets injured. Was it his retina got detached? Is
think
that what
it
it
was
was?
his retina, yeah.
Okay. So the fact that first of all, the fact that he got cleared, and the fact that he's fighting again, and him, if anybody knows, it's someone like him, a fighter, young. I think he was a champ, right before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's deciding to come back with an injury that could be permanent if it happens again, bro. Sugar Ray Leonard was another one. It was someone also very recent. Was it Earl Spence? Yes.
Yes, it was Earl Smith.
Right. So, I mean, the technology's gotten better, clearly.
Yeah.
But how do you really feel about that, bro?
I feel like anytime you step into the boxing ring, you're taking your life in your hands. But when you have an injury such as to the retina and you get hit in the head, no matter what in boxing, you get hit in the head in sparring, even though you have headgear on. But any of that concussive activity could re-aggravate this injury, and it could be worse.
Yeah. Nah.
Listen, Fox Sports pay-per-view has this fight. Jump on it. It's going to be on Sunday.
No, Saturday, bro.
What day is today?
You're right. It is Sunday the
It is
4th.
Sunday, yes.
Oh, long weekend. That's right. You're
Right.
right, bro. My bad.
It's gonna be at 9 p.m.
Okay.
So unless you're gonna be watching Florida State LSU, this is gonna be the fight for you.
Okay. Makes sense.
And I'm excited. I really am excited. How do you see this heavyweight fight playing out? I know we don't pick winners, but how do you see this fight playing?
It's going to be a messy affair. Spanish people don't know how to act. They finna get here and fight their ass off. And I mean that in the most respectful way. Bro, Father Time defeats us all, right?
Yes.
I just don't know what Luis Ortiz. We say this every time he fight because we don't know how old he is. Don't nobody know how old the man really is. We do know that age, like time, is linear and it doesn't work in reverse. So he's only getting older at this point.
The funny thing is, if you put a suit on him with a chain and a Kango, he'd look like he was in his 20s or 30s.
But he ain't.
But if
He
you put
get
a
in the
white
boxing
beater on
ring
him-
and he taking off his shirt. And it don't matter because Andy Ruiz is probably going to look worse.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is this dude ain't getting no younger. I don't know. Andy Ruiz, the younger, fresher fighter, probably
let's-
with more to prove.
Let's give the old man his due. He was in 2 championship fights. He was 1 punch away from becoming the champion.
Yeah.
He showed people how to beat Wilder.
It's boxing. It's not horseshoes. And no, he didn't. People knew that Wilder was not the best fighter, especially if you pressured him.
But he showed people that you can get around that power and beat Wilder.
Well, yeah, it's
So-
not hard. You're
It-
looking
well, it
for the
was
right
difficult
hand.
up to that point.
Well, no, listen, they underestimated their right hand.
Yeah.
And then they thought, well, I can take one, and then, no, you can't. So that's all that was. But to your point, bro, it's going to be a good fight.
Yes.
It's going to be a competitive fight. In fights like this, though, bro, when fighters, to me, even though their skill sets are a little bit different when they're this evenly matched, you tend to go with the younger, fresher guy, especially when both guys have a lot of experience. It's not like Ruiz is some prospect. So, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of.
I'm going with my gut on this one.
They both. Which one?
I tell you, I would not be surprised.
There are no surprise in this fight.
Okay.
Yeah, no matter who wins this fight, there is no surprise. There isn't because these guys are that evenly matched.
Yeah, it's going to be a great fight. Don't count the old man out. If he stays technically perfect, I think he can get it. We'll be right back.
You're listening to your favorite fighter's favorite show. You're inside the Deep Dive on the Fighter Show Radio Network.
Welcome back to the beat. My bad. I keep cutting that dude
I don't
off.
know why you do him like that.
I don't know.
I feel like it's intentional.
It probably is. Listen, we got the fights inside the octagon. I think the UFC is the only major fight going this weekend.
Yeah, from my research, what was that? Our research person just told us that is true. So, yes. So with that being said, we got time to talk about a lot of things, but the meat and potatoes of this will be, focused on the co-main and main event for this week's fight. Shout out to the UFC making their first appearance in Paris.
Paris.
Paris. Yeah.
Oh, the Paris. Oui, oui.
You ever been to Paris?
Yes.
How was it?
Well, okay. Along the Champs-Elysees, between the Arc de Triomphe and the Eiffel Tower.
When
and
black
the
folks learn something, you hear me? Do it again. One more time. Do it again.
Along the Champs-Elysees, it was fantastic. But don't be deceived. You step off the Champs-Elysees 1 or 2 blocks, it's a dirty city.
Okay.
But it's a historical city.
It's old, man.
It's very old.
Yeah.
And the new buildings are like 100 years old.
Right.
So it's
Right. As are most cities in Europe.
But
just
I will
old.
tell you, I would go back. My favorite city in France was
Here we go. Now
What?
he's showing off. Go ahead.
no,
Name some small hillside town that no one's ever heard of that you spent 3 nights in a chateau. Just go ahead, bro.
I wasn't. I was actually going to talk about along the Riviera in Nice. Everybody's heard of Nice. And Nice was my favorite city because one is
I got some nieces.
it's a step from Monaco, which
got
is the
2
cleanest
nieces.
country in the world.
I got 2 nieces.
20.
2 nieces. I
Oh,
got 2
I was
nieces.
about to say you got like 2 siblings. You got 20 nieces. Hey, we can tell time is not wasted. Okay.
Yeah, man. Cyril gone.
Cyril,
Ty
he
Tuivasa.
started right
First of
off
all-
with the big one. Go ahead.
Yeah, what? So Australians invading France. I just want to make sure we clear. Robert Whitaker is Australian. Tai Tuivasa is Australian. I'm starting to feel like the UFC is really trying to get that whole Asiana Pacific area popping, because I feel like I see a lot of guys from New Zealand and Australia fighting like every card. You got Izzy, you got Tuivasa, you got Bobby Knuckles, and you got the champ, little guy. What's his name? Volkanovski.
Yeah.
So shouts out to them. Anyway, the fight.
It's just funny because every time I hear Volkanovski, I think he's Russian.
Right. No.
When you look at him, you think he's Russian.
Yeah.
And then he talks, Mike.
Yeah, Mike. All that.
So.
Yeah. So you're a little more well-rounded when it comes to certain that too, but when it comes to the aspect of the fight game, you having a lot of wrestling experience. What is it going to take? Because this does not look good on paper.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Explain.
And I'll tell you why.
Tell me how on paper Tai Tuivasa is supposed to win this fight. Because on paper, everything's telling me Suragan is supposed to win.
Who's the last person
the
Tai Tuivasa beat?
Was Derek Lewis?
Yes.
Okay.
Was he supposed to win that fight?
Nah, but they were the same fighter.
And how did he beat him?
He punched him.
Right.
The only way he's ever going to beat anybody.
Right.
Okay. But we saw how well that worked out for Derek Lewis when he tried to fight Suragan. That's my point.
We saw how well that worked out for Francis Ngannou when he fought Cyril Gane.
That's different. There's a lot of history and sparring going on there. They were very familiar with each other.
But the difference in Tai Tuivasa and Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa is not going to run out of gas.
Yeah, but that's the only difference.
Right.
The punches come out just as slow. The fighting styles are pretty similar.
Well, honestly, I believe Cyril Gane has the advantage in this. I mean, because he's fluid. He can move. He's more athletic.
Well, he's a better, well-rounded fighter. That was my point throwing you that lob. I mean, he's, on paper, the guy that has the broader skill set.
Yes.
And very good at all these skill sets.
But I think we haven't had a chance to see Tai Tuivasa open up his skill set. And I think we're gonna see that in this fight. He's one of those guys, I just get the feeling that he's gonna be able to fight to the strengths and the weaknesses of his competitor.
What?
He'll be able to expose a lot of the weaknesses of his competitor and take away some of his strengths. I think Ty's got a higher IQ in the octagon that most people give him credit for.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, when you've been in a lot of fights, I would like to think that you have an IQ. But
don't always translate that way.
Here's the thing, man. If Tai Tuivasa is as tough as I think he is, then he has a shot, because what we know is that Cyril Gane does not want to turn this into a firefight. I don't want to stand there and exchange with Tai Tuivasa.
But he will exchange if he can stay in that range.
Well, that was my point.
Okay.
He will use his skill set, the things that he does well as a striker. That doesn't mean we're finna stand toe-to-toe in exchange.
Right.
I'm going to throw one or two punches, jab, maybe right hand, and I'm out of the way. We ain't finna stand to have a tough man competition.
Right.
And that's kind of what we saw with Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa. And Tai was tougher and threw the harder punches, because he did take a couple of shots from Derek Lewis in that fight.
Right. Cyril Gane reminds me of a younger Stipe Miocic. Stipe,
I don't know if Stipe can kick like Cyril Gane, bro.
Younger Stipe Miocic. You're right. Now, Cyril has more of a skill set as far as the feet go. But I think Cyril, after that Francis fight, we're going to find out just where Cyril Gane is going to remain in the UFC.
Right.
Because he has two choices. He can either take that and lick his wounds, or he could take that as a learning experience and realize, I have to control the narrative. I have to use my entire skill set. And sometimes I'm going to have to take two to give one.
Right.
But I'm fast enough that if I can withstand some onslaught, I can get inside and work my way back out on the outside.
Yeah.
I can mix it up with you, and before you know it, I'm back at range. And I have a skill set with my feet, hands, and elbows that I could beat heavyweights like I was a middleweight.
And Cyril Gane throws some beautiful elbows.
And he has a ground
beautiful
game.
elbows. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well, look, again, it's going to be a good fight. stylistically this is a good fight,
Yeah.
right? Because the way they fight something's going to happen, right? Somebody has to,
Somebody gonna hit
go out.
They're gonna hit the canvas.
Yeah, somebody going out. All right. So the co-main event: Bobby Knuckles, Marvin Vettori.
Victor.
I mean, the underlying theme in this fight is they both were roadkill for Izzy.
Yes.
He steamrolled both of them.
And they'll continue to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they won't fight him again. There's no need.
They'll
So
fight him
this
again.
is no, they won't, because neither one. When you get smoked twice,
doesn't
how does the UFC even make that matchup again?
Because Dana White will.
No, I think they'll do something like, depending on who's the champ is at 205, give Izzy another shot to get a double belt. Because in the Jan Blachowicz fight, the only difference was Jan was just, his wrestling was just too good for Izzy, and he could hold him down. Other than that, when they were on their feet, that fight was pretty competitive.
And the sad thing is, I think Izzy would he had a brain fart. Because Izzy is athletic enough. He could have gotten away from some of those shots by sprawling, by moving around. But he was just there to be taken
But
down.
here's the thing. We always say this, bro. I always say this. A good big man is going to always be the good little man.
Yeah.
Izzy, for as great as he is, his wrestling is just good. Blachowicz's wrestling is just good, but he's stronger. So I'm just going to hold you down. Big brother, little brother type deal, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But yeah, to put a bow on this one, I don't know. I just think that the gap between Bobby Knuckles and everybody else at 185 is just really vast. Just like the gap between Izzy and everybody else at 185 is vast.
Right.
But like we saw, a la Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, anything can happen.
And will.
But Marvin Vettori fights angry.
Yes.
Bobby Knuckles is such a composed fighter. This fight, if it turns into a firefight, still leans Whitaker because he's just so composed, and he's only lost twice in the last 8 years, and both times was the Izzy.
Yeah.
So
You got it. I mean, this is going to be tough, man, because their skill sets match up well.
yeah.
They
And
match
Vettori's
up well.
athletic.
Yes.
Yes, and he's coming forward, he's aggressive, and he's trying to take you down, and yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good. I think the co-main might outshine the main in this one.
It could. It really could, because the co-main could be a main.
Yeah.
He's just not a champion.
Neither. Yeah.
Right. That's all.
But they're both champions, former champions, right?
I don't think Cyril ever had the belt.
No, I'm talking about Vettori.
I don't think Vettori ever had the belt.
Okay. He was just boosted up.
Yeah, Bobby Knuckles had it, but I don't
That's
think
right.
Vettori had it.
All right. We'll be back.
You're listening to your favorite fighters' favorite show. You're inside the Deep Dive on the Fighter Share Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Beatdown, sponsored by the Fighter Share Report.
On the Fizzer Network.
Hey, I
man.
let him get it all out this time.
Hey, listen, man. Shouts out all the gentrification going on, man. If y'all can hear what's going on, they're redoing the roof so they can, put some other people in that don't look like the people that are already here.
Other people.
In the name of progress, by the way. All right, so
Not our progress.
I guess it's wrestling time.
It is, and we got a huge weekend of wrestling.
Okay, what you got?
So-
lots of spandex.
Both, listen, WWE and AEW have pay-per-views this upcoming weekend.
Ooh.
And a lot of people question Tony Khan for going up against
Head to head.
WWE.
This is what I'm talking about.
Right.
I'm going to be interested to see who wins this, but go ahead.
It's going to be interesting because WWE's is first. It's on Saturday.
All right, so tell me how good their card is supposed to be.
Their card's going to be okay. It's Clash at the Castle.
Hold on. That
in
was
Scotland.
lame. That was lame.
No, no.
Their card. You
It's
just
gonna be
hyped us
okay.
up. You just hyped us up and said this is supposed to be like a great
Because-
AEW, WWE, and then I asked you how the card is. You're like,
Listen.
oh, it's okay.
An okay WWE pay-per-view is going to do some views.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to do numbers anyway. They run the game.
Right.
Okay.
And a great AEW is going to do numbers.
Okay.
So the only thing that, all right, let's just go through the Clash of the Castle card first. And I'm not going to go through the whole card. There are a few fights on here to cover. The WWE Intercontinental Championship will be defended. Sheamus, who is from Ireland.
The redhead, right?
Yes.
Okay, I know him.
The one they used to call Pasty Cake, is going to be fighting
That's inappropriate.
Gunther, who's the German.
Yeah, I don't know. Wait, I do know
That's
Gunther.
what I was telling you
Yeah,
about.
I do know Gunther.
That guy can fight for real.
Black spandex?
I don't know if he would. No,
No, it's not him.
but
It's
he does
another-
wear the old shorts, the old.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I know
him.
who you're talking about. Okay, yeah.
He has. Yeah, he's gonna be defending, and the guy can really fight.
Okay.
He has a lot of skill that he brings into WWE.
Okay.
So they put a strap on him. I don't know if they're gonna give it to Sheamus because it's in Scotland and Sheamus is big over there because he's from Ireland.
Okay.
But it's gonna be a good competitive match.
Okay.
Because Gunther has a lot of skill.
Okay.
Sheamus is good. He has a lot of good moves, maybe 7 or 8 good moves,
Okay.
but they're high impact moves. So
They're acrobatic.
no, high impact. He'll bend your back over the rope and forearm you in the chest repeatedly. From the back. Coming down across your sternum.
From
and
the
your
back.
collarbone.
There you go.
There
From
you
the
go.
back. You
Yeah,
gotta
whatever.
relax.
And then you have the SmackDown Women's Title match is going to be good because you have, Shayna Baszler versus Liv Morgan.
I know Liv Morgan. Blonde hair, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The people that say, her fans got her a title match because they say she's pretty and
Okay.
bubbly and
Okay.
But Shayna Baszler was a former MMA fighter, and she's not pretty.
Well,
but she can fight.
we know who's gonna win this one.
She's all right. Shayna's a cool chick,
She
man.
ain't pretty.
She's pretty.
She been spoiled twice. We was talking about Seeley. All right, go ahead, bro. My bad.
I know.
Look at him. He wanted to get in the character. Look, he was waiting to get in the
I
character.
couldn't do it. I wasn't gonna do it. That was horrible.
All right.
She ugly, but she can cook. So that's gonna be a good fight.
That was
really,
terrible.
because you got. I mean, you got skill versus. I hate to say it, but an opportunistic champion. And I honestly believe Shayna should be wearing the strap just because of her prowess, her acumen, and just the fact that she's tough. And they really need to do more with her character because she's not an ugly woman, but they keep her looking mannish.
We just right. Oh, manly. So not only is she homely, but she's also manly.
But she doesn't have to look manly
Why they making her look manly?
because that's the character that they built for her.
Well, because there's some manly people they need to look up to somebody that look
Listen,
like her.
And then moving right along, so I don't so I don't slight AEW. Moving along, we have in the main event, you have the undisputed WWE Universal Title match between Drew McIntyre, who is Scottish, and Roman Reigns.
Okay.
That's gonna be interesting to see where
that's the
WWE
name.
goes with this.
That is the name.
Because Roman Reigns has held the title for over 2 years.
Okay.
Like 700 and some days he's held the title.
Okay.
And he's done it well. And
He's the face.
he's the
Right
face.
now.
Right.
So that's why this is important.
And and a lot of people would like Drew McIntyre to be the face.
That is interesting to me. I don't know why it is, but I just
Well, when you look back at the history of Drew McIntyre, he was the one that was handpicked by Vince McMahon to come to the WWE years ago to become a champion. It didn't work out for him. He left. He worked. He rebuilt himself, and he came back as the Scottish psychopath, who then became a fan favorite. And yeah,
Scottish psychopath. It's pretty dope.
so it's going to be interesting. I think that's going to be a good card. It's Saturday afternoon. If you're looking for the fight, it's Saturday afternoon because it's in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Hey, and that UFC card. We forgot to
early,
mention.
yeah, it's in France.
The main card starts at 3.
Yeah, it's early. Yep. So by noon.
And people are like, why is the main card starting at 3 and the prelims at noon? Because
they
this is the
5
first
hours or
weekend of
6 hours
college
ahead.
football.
Yep, that too. Smart by Dana. That was smart.
Yeah.
That was smart. Yeah.
So this pay-per-view is going to be early as well. Check your local listings for pay-per-view, WWE Network. It's going to be good. But let's move on to their competition. Their competition is AEW's All Out.
Okay.
Some questionable matches on here. And I'll get to the most questionable one last.
Okay.
But your girl, TBS champion, Jade Cargill, versus the other black girl in AEW, Athena.
Who?
Athena.
Who that is?
Look her up.
Where's she from?
She ain't from Greece. Probably
Athena.
Georgia. Athens.
Yeah.
I don't know. She look alright. She know Jade Cargill.
Ain't a lot of Jade Cargills out there, bro. There's
No.
something about that. It's like that perfect blend of purple and pink, that her spandex. Just saying, bro. Oh, I see Athena. I mean, yeah, she's 5'2". She's fun size. Put in your pocket.
All right. She's got skill. She's been on the independents for a while.
Okay.
Had some a fan base.
Okay.
She came in with a lot of hype. But the problem with Jade is Jade needs a bigger skill set.
Yeah, you
Jade
keep
is
saying
going
that.
off
She got
of-
to evolve.
She's going right. She has to evolve. She's going off the impact moves only at this point.
When you say impact, does that translate because she's so
Punching.
athletic?
Kicking, yes.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
But she's not coming off the top rope, which is okay. But if you're not going to be a high flyer in the women's division, you need to have some skill.
Right.
You need to be able to put somebody like the Cobra Clutch. You know, you need arm bars, headlocks, rear naked chin locks. I mean, you really need to be able to work some leg locks.
Right. So in essence, she's a one-dimensional fighter, is what you're saying.
Very much so. She's just fine. And she's
Wait a minute.
athletic.
Hold on now. Wait a minute.
And she's athletic.
Don't just gloss over that like, oh, and she fine. No, she's a good fighter, okay? And she's very good at what she does. She's also happens to look nice. That's all.
Moving on, we got Jungle Boy. Remember Luke Perry, the actor from 90210?
90210? Yeah.
His son, Jack Perry,
Oh.
is Jungle Boy. And,
Did he die?
yes,
Wow. I
they've
don't want to
actually
kill him.
exploited that during during AEW.
Man, shouts out to AEW. Get
Right.
the check. By any means necessary.
One of these matches, one of the matches that I don't think really fits. Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. It should be two separate matches because FTR is undoubtedly one of the two best tag teams in any organization.
Okay.
Any organization.
Okay.
And then you have the Casino Ladder match, which is going to be a spectacle. It's going to be a spectacle.
Casino ladder match.
The winner's going to get a championship opportunity.
Huh.
A bunch of competitors getting in there, and you know it's going to be a spectacle. People flying off ladders, getting hit with ladders, probably going through tables.
Ain't nothing wrong with going through a table. Or some cheeks. Shout out my cheek clappers out there. Because I know
High
that y'all
impact
know.
on both of them.
that
Okay.
say it
So
again.
you got World
Like a
Tag
car
Team
crash.
Championship match. You got Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed. Which I'd be interesting to see how Tony Khan goes on this decision because the Acclaimed does have a openly gay wrestler in that tag team.
Why you always gotta spoil
Because
it?
it's all about their marketing. So let's see where we go with that. But Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve.
So just say all the gay people need to watch AEW then. Because that's where they're being represented. Just say that.
And then you have, well, Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse. I'm not really going to. You got the World Championship match, which is a repeat of what we had last Wednesday. Not yesterday, but a week ago. They are going to do the rematch with John Moxley and CM Punk. So my thing is, if your leg was messed up or your foot was still messed up a week and a half ago, how does a week and a half heal a broken leg?
Because I'm acting.
Oh, there we go. All right, we'll be back.
You listening to your favorite fighters' favorite show. You're inside the Deep Dive on the Fighter Share Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Beatdown, sponsored by the Fighter Share Report on the Fizzer Network. Hey, sorry about that. That segment ran a little bit long, but we had to get it out. No pun intended.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Off the Cuff. What you got?
None. We had a whole lot, bro. Listen, Serena,
Yes.
another win.
Yes. Two this
Man,
week.
this is going to come to such a bad end. But let's go ahead and be optimistic about this, bro. In a fairy tale, she's going to come out of this thing and win and ride off into the
She
sunset.
just beat the number 2 ranked player in the world.
In reality, what's going to happen is as she advances, she's going to get to a point where she's going to get beat. And this dream is going to be over. And then Serena, the empire, will transition into something else other than tennis, bro. And listen, it happens. Greats can't always be great.
This is the greatest.
Jordan had to retire.
This is the greatest tennis player of all
Tiger
time.
had to Tiger.
No, Tiger got hit by the powers that be, and a golf club, and a roadside hazard.
Yeah, and a bunch of women. That was the start of all this.
He hit a bunch of women.
Right.
Listen,
That's why he tigered.
And listen, he wasn't doing anything anybody else was.
All right.
wasn't
Yeah.
doing.
So Serena.
He tipped off the wrong person who was supposed to be protected.
Serena is on her swan song, bro.
Serena has 23 major championships.
Okay.
Got her first one right after turning 17. I remember that U.S. Open win where she beat the quote-unquote great Martina Hingis. Shut her down at the U.S. Open. Yes, shut her down back in 1999 and started this off. And my mom and I were talking, and we were like, how many titles would have Serena have really won if not for the other greatest player in tennis, her sister? Remember, Venus ran off 5 straight Wimbledon.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Venus, because of Serena's dominance at the time when she started to become dominant, right? Venus will be forgotten for how great she really was, and that's what's wild.
And it was that autoimmune disease that really shut Venus down.
Let me ask you this, since you brought that up. Are Venus and Serena the best sibling duo to ever dominate a sport?
Yes.
You didn't think about that very much.
I didn't have to.
Okay.
Because you look at the landscape of tennis. The one thing that John McEnroe keeps pointing out that Chris Evert won't, because Chris Evert was part of the problem, was they were called the N-word when they played on their own home court.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to go in certain locker rooms. Like Tiger, when he would go to certain golf courses as a champion, as a amateur champion, he would have to change in the car. So these are things that they dealt with. The Williams sisters, I give all credit to Richard Williams and Oracene Williams, but Richard's vision was he was going to make them marketable outside of tennis. And because they did that, they were able to become filthy rich whether they played another match or not. They were just better than everybody else. And that translated into more dollars. And the fact that they had people behind them like the Rolling Stones. And I know, like, who? Back then, the Rolling Stones were still big and considered the greatest rock and roll band in the world. U2, who was considered the other greatest rock and roll band in the world.
Yeah.
They were all behind them. And they came to support them. And the fact that people showed up to see them lose and they kept winning. Yes, they are the greatest sibling duo to dominate any sport because they weren't wanted in that sport. Give me another sibling duo. You could have said the Sharps, but Sterling's injury took him out.
Took him
far
out
too early.
Even though they're both Hall of Famers, though. I know you're right though, bro. Like yeah.
And it's hard to say a football player is the greatest of all time because they only play one position.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to quantify that.
People put
football
Deion
terms.
up there because Deion was a great receiver as well as
Cornerback.
And he was a great returner.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
If
when he
it wasn't for Devin Hester, he would have still had those records, right?
Right.
Okay.
And if he needed to, he could have moved over to safety and continued.
Oh,
his
yeah.
career.
And later in his career, he definitely could have.
But he was able to stay at a high level as a cornerback.
Yeah.
So-
Even with that bad toe.
Right.
Wow.
So I mean, but that's who, when people say, "Oh, who's the greatest NFL football player?" You got to consider him in that conversation, just because of the different position. I mean, Troy Aikman told you, Deion was the one besides Michael Irvin. Deion was probably the best receiver they had.
And that's crazy because that team had Alvin Harper and Kevin Williams,
Yeah.
Jay Novacek. Yeah, they had some players, so
Yeah.
that's crazy. But again, you're talking about probably one of the greatest athletes to ever participate.
He is literally, a multi-generational talent.
And where is he from?
Oh, my.
What state is that in? Don't worry about it. Listen, college football this weekend,
hey, you
bro.
You got one that comes out of Florida. I got you.
We got a lot more than that. But listen, we got college football that's starting this weekend, bro. Real quick, like you mentioned, Florida State, LSU. Man, does Florida State rebound, bro? Does Florida State or Miami ever rebound?
They won't get back to that level.
Dang.
But they will rebound.
Yeah.
Because right now, the shine is on Alabama and the SEC.
Yeah, sure.
Listen,
Georgia.
Tonight, my team, Penn State, on Fox, kicks off against Purdue. It's a soft touch, but it's a touch.
Y'all better be ready. Where y'all in? Y'all in West Lafayette or y'all in?
Ready, Happy Valley.
Y'all in Happy Valley? Oh, okay.
Ready.
So that means everybody gonna be wearing their little white clothes.
We ready.
Little Nittany Lions.
For y'all. Come on now.
Nah. Listen, shout out to James Franklin and Nittany Lions.
Yeah.
We'll see what y'all got this year, bro.
And I love what he keeps saying every year. He says, if they'll keep me here, I'm going to be the first African-American head coach to win the national championship.
Well, we gonna
Sean
see.
Clifford is under center. We're going to see because
Yeah,
we
we gonna
lost
see.
Jaquan Brister. We lost a lot.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
that team last year was like one or two pieces away. We were built to win the championship and just imploded.
Listen, man, I tell you what, I really like them uniforms, though. Like, that navy and white is such a classic look, bro. They making some little alterations to it. Everybody talk about how classic Alabama's look is. Nah, if I had to pick a favorite old school look, Penn State would be up there, bro. That navy and white is just somebody, man. It just look good.
I'm crying, bro. The fact that you said that.
Yeah. Notice I didn't say anything about how they played, just about how they look. Anyway, bro.
That's all that matters to you anyway.
Listen, so we'll see what y'all got tonight. Florida
Yes.
State, LSU. I don't know what that's going. I hope Florida State is ready. I don't.
Well, LSU looked horrible last year. So,
Yeah, but
I'm
LSU
listening.
is one of those things that's hard to explain because it's not because they don't have the talent. They got all the talent, all of it.
But don't they have a brand new coaching staff?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They coaches like to do a whole lot of weird stuff in Baton Rouge.
And it's interesting because of the success they have every once in a while.
Yeah, like every 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah, they're like, oh, LSU's a great city. No,
But
they're not.
I think what it is too is they put out all this top draft talent,
in certain skilled positions, yes.
DB and receiver, most
Right.
notably. Yeah.
And running back.
Yeah, they'll get a running back. Yeah, true.
But
Well, hell, Joe Burrow at quarterback. I mean, that's
Yeah.
only one, but that's a
he had
big one.
Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah. Well, I was just talking about the quarterback, Joe Burrow. They always put out receivers. And they always put out DBs.
No,
so that's why I didn't mention
Jamarcus
those.
Russell. Don't overlook your
Oh,
homeboy.
My bad. Confused with Jamar Chase. Yes, Jamarcus Russell. Yes. The greatness of Jamar.
Shout out to Al Davis.
Rohan Davey, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
man. See?
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting.
Florida A&M real quick. Jackson State down in Miami.
No. Shout out to Jackson, Mississippi, going through all that flooding, man.
Well, yeah, this is a bigger story, bro, because we're talking about administrative and academic issues at Florida A&M, which are
Yes.
problems.
Yes.
And then what these kids in Jackson State, these kids, they have to find somewhere to live. They can't even be on campus.
Right.
This is crazy. I would love to talk more about what happened in Jackson because I've been there twice in the last year, so I can speak from personal experience about what's going on in that city, but that's for something totally different. I'm interested to see how these two teams come together. They're both facing a lot of adversity this weekend. Coach Simmons and Coach Dion got they got to coach.
Listen.
They got to coach. They got to get these kids ready to play football.
Jackson State going to beat the brakes off of Florida A&M only because of all of the suspended players for Florida A&M and the fact that Jackson State's playing for more than just themselves this weekend. Now, it could implode. It could turn around and work against them. But if they can keep their mind straight, they just have too much talent as compared to Florida A&M.
Didn't
this weekend.
Florida A&M win the HBCU recruiting battle?
But you have 27 suspended players.
Okay. Well, I'm not knocking it.
And
unlike
Jackson
you,
State has Travis Hunter. Shout out
unlike
to Florida State again.
Hey, and shout out to Florida A&M who had Isaiah Lamb, who was the #1 ranked player in FBS. Right. So Travis Hunter, Isaiah Lamb.
Is Isaiah Lamb on the field?
Nah, but neither are two other players. And will Jackson State be as good as they can be? Absolutely not, because they ain't been able to practice.
But they'll be better than Florida A&M?
Maybe, but this is coming from a hater who wants to see Florida A&M live. You should just pack up and move back to Maryland, man. But that's it. That's all I got.
Why
That's
is
all I got.
this?
That's all
Why
I
is
got.
this?
That's all I got.
Listen.
You have
I
so
like
many
what Willie
negative things to
Simmons
say
was
about
doing.
Florida.
No, I'm not. I like what Willie Simmons was doing. I like the fact that he got so many D1 transfers through the portal and was rebuilding that roster, bolstering the meat of that roster. But his administration failed him.
Okay.
So I'm not saying nothing about the team. I'm talking about what the administration did to fail them.
I hope this game is
First
more
you got
competitive,
rid of your athletic director.
just so he can eat crow. I hope it's a competitive game. I hope Florida A&M go out there and play with their hair on fire.
I hope they
and
do
I know
too.
Jackson. No, you
I
don't.
hope
No,
they
you
do.
don't.
I hope
Secretly,
it's a competitive
you won't. No, you
game.
don't. No, you don't.
I really do.
They've
I hope
already
it's a
heard you speak.
competitive
They know
game.
you're not being genuine.
Rattler
See, he don't even do it right.
did it better than they'll do this weekend. But shout out to the dancers.
Hey, man, go Bulls. BYU at home. Go Bulls.
Get
We'll
'em.
see.
Get 'em,
We'll
Bulls.
see.
We
No, we
agree
won't.
with that.
We probably.
You listening to your favorite fighters' favorite show. You're inside the Beat Down on the Fighter Share Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Beat Down, sponsored by the Fighter Share Report
on the Fizzer Network.
Listen, the Bulls right now, South Florida Bulls, we're playing for season ticket holders. We're not playing for championships. We're just playing to get people to buy season tickets.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that, I guess.
We're trying to justify them building that stadium on campus. And,
I ain't got nothing to say.
I would like to see USF do something. I really would. And they some people say they look a lot better, but better than what? They got a quarterback who transferred from where? Auburn, was it? No.
I ain't got nothing to say.
Come on, you played for him.
I have nothing to say, bro.
This was your starting wide receiver for the South Florida Bulls.
Was not, and I have nothing to say. We'll see what they do on Saturday, bro. That's it. That's all. That is all.
He should have been a DB, Jim Levitt.
That is all.
He should have been a DB.
That is all.
I mean, he like between 6'1" and 6'8".
That's it.
So he
just don't go out there and embarrass yourselves, man. Go out there and play hard, and we'll see what happens. That's it.
And they're playing BYU.
Yep.
At home.
And they gonna be big and strong and disciplined and Mormon.
Shout out to Bronco Mendenhall. No, he left there.
Nah, it's
Who's the coach at BYU now?
I should know this.
And
but
he's
it's
doing
not.
a great job.
Yeah. Oh, BYU, man. Listen, they only gonna lose 1 or 2 games a year. They might lose to
won't be this
Utah.
one.
They might lose to somebody else on the schedule, but they usually do well. 8-9 win program most
Yeah.
times, I would think.
USF better come out and jump on them early, like when they warm it
Hey
up.
man, just go out there and play hard. Don't embarrass yourselves. That's it.
Wow, that's cold. All right, we talked about the big fights this weekend. You definitely want to tune into the UFC. You want to tune into boxing. You got 2 wrestling pay-per-views.
That's a
You
lot.
got no reason not to get your combat sports going. Get your barbecues going. Get your coolers filled. And you got Monday off to sleep it all off.
There you go. Sounds like a good weekend to me, bro.
I don't have Monday off.
And even if you are fortunate enough to be here in paradise with us, I'm sure you can find something to do wherever you are. Outside, that is. On Monday. Because, we can be at the beach. We can be anywhere here. So,
Monday I'll be at work. While everybody else is at the beach.
oh, there it is.
But that's okay. That's all right. We pick our poison. So, hey, shout out to my wife, my mom, my daughter, my pops, who just had a birthday.
Happy birthday, Pops.
And who else? Yeah, his birthday was Monday. We did give him a shout out. So, my brother, who's going around the country making all the money, and Fighter Share Nation, shout out to y'all.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody getting money. Shout out to the Hillsborough County Anti-Bullying Wolves. We always give them shout outs. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and follow us on all the places where you can follow us. Social media, where you consume your podcast. That's where we at. We'll see y'all, next week. Talk about all this stuff we talked about today. Fighter Share Nation, we out here. We'll see y'all. Peace.